Hello, welcome to Steve's Horse Show. Here are a few things you might not have realized about weighing your horse's feed. If you have never weighed your horse's feed, the easiest way to do it is to buy a postal scale or maybe a fish scale. A fish scale has a hook on it and you can weigh your bucket. The first thing you'll do is weigh an empty scoop. Don't forget that the scoop actually can weigh up to, like this one weighs almost half a pound. So you'll zero your scale out at that. And after you zero your scale out, get the amount of feed that you typically feed your horse. This is what most people would call full when it's level with the front of it. This weighs 2.79 ounces, so about 2.5 pounds. A lot of people say that a 3-quart scoop is 3 pounds. Obviously, this could easily be 3 pounds if you rounded it up and got a little bit more feed into it, but a lot of people think that this is all equivalent. Pellets weigh a certain amount, sweet feed weighs a certain amount, so it depends on what size of pellets you feed, depends on what type of feed that you are feeding, and obviously where you fill the amount of feed up in the scoop. So all those things go into it, and don't forget to zero out your scale without the scoop. Here's one thing that you might not realize when weighing your horse's feed. When you measure out the amount of feed, a lot of people will go off of the size of scoop that they have and not understand that it depends on which type of feed you're feeding. For an example, I have 2 jars here. One is pellets and one is sweet feed. They're both in the same amount in the jars. When you weigh these jars individually, they are off 3 ounces and they're both around a pound. Those 3 ounces, if you're feeding your horse, let's say 6 pounds, can be over a pound of difference if you're feeding the same amount in a scoop. So by feeding the sweet feed, you are not getting as much in the scoop. And so you're shorting every pound 3 ounces, which of course can lead up to quite a bit if you're feeding 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even more. Some very active horses can feed up to 15 or 16 pounds at times. So pellets are usually denser, thus heavier in the scoop than sweet feed. So be aware of that when you're weighing your horse's feed. One tip of advice for weighing your horse's feed would be using the same scoop. A lot of people don't understand that scoops, though they might be, this is a 3-quart and this is a 3-quart, can oftentimes be measured completely different when weighing horse's feed. When you weigh this scoop with the amount of feed in it, typically you can get way more feed heaped up than you can in this one. Sometimes it depends on how much feed you put in it, but this can be 1 to 3 pounds more in feed per scoop than this one. So if you tell someone to feed 2 scoops, it would be totally different depending on which scoop you use.